Welcome back. In this section, we're going to be talking about retrofitting an existing standing seam roof over a metal building. There's a number of different standing seam roofs that you might run into out on a metal building. There's going to be two basic types of standing seams that you're going to run into out there. You're going to run into a trapezoidal standing seam, 3 inches tall, 24 inches wide. That's going to be the most common thing that you're going to see out there. And then you're going to run into some vertical rib panels out there as well. The thing that's most important is to understand, like we talked about in the introduction, is the offset. What is the distance between the bottom of the roof panel and the top of the purlin down here? So down here is an example of a 0 offset. So that means the panel is laying flat down on the purlins, and they generally are going to achieve this using a utility clip. This will be a 3/8 offset. This is going to be really common on older buildings where they're only putting 3 inches of bad insulation in there. So 3/8 offset, accommodate 3 inches of bad insulation. You can tell by a 3/8 inch thermal spacer in those buildings. These two panels will be handled the same way as far as the retrofit method. Okay, there's a number of different ways to do it. Right here I've got a roof hugger set up on this one that we're fixing to go through. But the low floating systems like these you're going to be able to use a standard roof hugger. This is called a Model D roof hugger back here. Model D is specifically made for a trapezoidal standing seam, 3 inches tall, 24 inches wide, and it's going to be 4.5 inches tall. Then once you get into an offset situation where you have a 1 inch offset, or even taller, maybe even 1 3/8 offset, which is 1 inch and 1 3/8 is going to be the most common. Once you get into that tall offset, then you're going to have to switch and use a different type of a roof hugger if the roof hugger is your choice for doing the retrofit. All right, you're going to have to use a Model D roof hugger. And a Model D roof hugger, the chief difference in appearance between the Model D and the Model T, because they're both 4.5 inches tall, is that they added an anti-rotation arm to this Model T roof hugger. And what that does is it stabilizes the roof hugger when you install it, so it doesn't roll. It's an anti-roll stabilizer that you attach to the side of the rib. And then you attach the roof hugger using these special offset fasteners. So this is a 1 inch offset fastener. You see this part here has got no threads on it. And so once it's installed, it stops drilling. So when you drill through the roof panel into the purlin, then it stops drilling exactly 1 inch. Is what you need is you have to maintain this offset. If you use a regular fastener and a Model D roof hugger without the anti-rotation arms, and you use a regular threaded fastener, your roof hugger is going to do like this. It's called porpoising. It's going to be impossible to keep it straight because you can't pull the even tension all the way across the roof. It's extremely difficult. And then you still get into the situation where you have to have this anti-roll bar because it's not going to be stable sitting on top of a thermal spacer, all right? So that's the combination. Special fastener, anti-rotation arm on it. So the anti-rotation arms you have to bend out with your finger, or you can use a set of tongs. So we'll go through the install real quick. It's real fast. I already got all the fasteners set, so it won't be long. So with a standard Model D roof hugger, you're just going to fasten 4 fasteners per 2-foot section. So now you got a nice stable part. I probably need to tighten this up a little bit, but generally what I like to do is do the 2 end fasteners first to get yourself lined up on the purlin, and then just infill, and then infill after that. These purlins, these huggers come in they come in at a 10-foot length or 10-foot 2 inches. It's a good length to handle. The other thing you notice is they got a nice big wide notch here These panels are never installed on modules, so having a nice big wide notch is helpful. And you're going to get structural enhancement with this part as well. Because of the height of the hugger, you're going to lose some because of this notch, but you're going to get some structural enhancement on the purlin because of this, because you're getting a rigid attachment through. Okay. Now, when you're using this other hugger, the Model T hugger, the first thing that you're going to have to do is you bend the arms out, and then you're going to attach the rotation arm fasteners first, and that kind of holds it in place for you. You do those first, and that's going to be either lap tech, number 17 lap screw. So anyway, so these fasteners, like I said, you drop them in place. They go down. Now you can see between, you got a really super stable part here because of these anti-rotation arms. You can see here the difference in height. This is our standard height. This is the same height part, same height roof hugger, but it's on a 1-inch offset because of the fastener. Now as far as insulation goes with one of these, you can either use batt insulation or you can use rigid insulation. You can use batt insulation, infill. What I normally do, you've got 4.5 inches there plus your clip offset. For me, this is 3/8, so you're talking about 5 inches basically. I like to infill in between the roof huggers with 3-inch thick unfaced batts, and then I like to roll 2 inches out over the top, and that gives you your 5 inches. And that's going to keep you well under your 3 pounds per square foot limit that you're looking for, okay? Another way is very popular is to get some flute fill for trapezoidal panels. So this is 3-inch deep taper cut flute fill. And then you can come over the top of that with a 1.5-inch board. And then that lines you up with the top of the roof hugger. And then you can put ice and water shield on this thing. This is a great, I'm talking Cadillac system, but you're going to be pushing right over the top of your 3-pound threshold when you do this. So you want to make sure that you got all your engineering straight if you're going to want to use this type of system. So this covers installing a roof hugger on a low floating and a high floating system. And then we're going to move on to a 2-piece system after this. Thanks for watching.